Hey guys, so this video has been a long time coming. About a month and a half ago or so, I forget exactly when, but someone asked me to do a video on how I set up Butterflight Odin on my Helio flight controller, and that's what this video is going to be about. I'm going to try to keep it short, sweet, and to the point, and yeah, so let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is how do you update the firmware to get Odin? Well, it's pretty simple. You go over here to Flash Firmware, make sure you select Helio Spring in this drop-down menu here. Just go to Helio Spring, choose Firmware. I have this one on my flight controller, but obviously you want to choose the latest and greatest. Have no reboot sequence, full chip erase, and that doesn't really need to be clicked, but whatever. Then you would just click, whoops, hold on. You click this, load firmware, you would load firmware online, and then you would just flash firmware. Now on a Mac, normally what's supposed to happen is the Mac computer is supposed to put your board into DFU mode, or DFU mode automatically, and then it will start updating. However, I have tried and pulled my hair out trying to update this stupid flight controller, and for some reason, I keep getting this serial port failed notification up here, so I have tried to solve it. I can't seem to figure out what's wrong with it. I think there's a problem with my laptop's drivers, so I haven't figured out how to fix that yet. So yeah, we're gonna skip the actual clicking the flash firmware button, but the process that I just kind of talked to you about, whoops, sorry, just the camera, that's how you update to Helio Spring. Now, once you download Odin, you need to update the IMUF F3 chip. And how you do that is you just type in IMUF update and press enter, and it'll update it. I haven't, or I've already done that, so I'm not going to do it now. Yeah, I already taken care of that, so anyway, let's move on. First is the setups tab. As you can see, my diagram is not moving because I disabled my accelerometer. Ports tab, I have my smart port wire from my X4RSB wired to UART1. The serial RX, which is the X4RSB, like I said, is wired to UART2. And then over down here at UART5, I have the Immersion RC Tramp telemetry wire wired up to. So that's how I have my ports tab set up. Now on the configuration page, this is where things get a little bit interesting. As you can see, I have D-Shot 600 selected. I don't run multi-shot. I prefer D-Shot because I like to take advantage of the D-Shot beeper, the turtle mode function, and the fact that it uses zeros and ones to talk to the flight controller, not electrical pulses. I don't like calibrating my ESCs. Anyway, I have 32K gyro sampling turned on. I run my gyro update frequency at 32 kilohertz. I run the PID loop frequency at 16 hertz. Accelerometer, barometer, magnetometer, I have that all turned off. Stereo-based receiver, S-bus, I'll leave that on. Then as far as other features go, I have telemetry turned on, air mode, OSD, and anti-gravity. And then I use the D-Shot buzzer, and then I have everything else turned off. And that's pretty much it as far as the configuration setup goes. I have been running this for several months, no problem. Haven't had any issues whatsoever, really. So we'll just save and reboot that. Go back to connect. Power and battery, this is the scale. So these are the PIDs that I run, and also I'll just show you my filter settings. Now I actually just flew this in some really harsh sunlight. By harsh meaning the sun's out pretty high in the sky, no clouds, at around 2 in the afternoon. So there were some small like micro oscillations, but trying to tune out those oscillations in really harsh sunlight is really hard down here. These are my, I'll show you my TPA and TPA breakpoint. Let me move the camera a little bit here. So I'm running 50% on the TPA, and my breakpoint is at 1500. This might come down a little bit just because at full throttle the quad does vibrate a little bit. So I might adjust this, but these PIDs feel really good to me. Receiver, well, that's pretty Betaflight standard. Might mess around with this RC interpolation a little bit, but for the most part it seems to be fine. My stick low threshold is 1010, my stick high is 2000. That gets rid of any deadband. I mean, receiver in modes is pretty much standard Betaflight setup. So if you know how to set up Betaflight, this is exactly the same. Motors, like I said, I don't have to worry about ESC calibration because I run D-Shot 600. Then for OSD, this is what I have on my OSD. I've got my frequency up here. Then I've got battery voltage, cell voltage, amperage, milliamp hours consumed, flight time, so that's when I arm, and how long the quad has actually been active. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. As far as buttered PIDs go, because I know someone was asking me about that, if we go to the CLI tab, you just type in, you know, get buttered PIDs, buttered underscore PIDs, and the default is that they're on. You can turn them off or on. I just leave them on. I think it helps like smooth things out a little bit. I don't know. I leave them on, it works for me. I just want to say one last thing about this video before I sign off and end it. I know that Helio or Butterflight there's a new type of firmware coming out. It's called like Starbuck. I think it's in like alpha or beta test stage. I personally am not going to use it until it shows up as a stable release in the configurator. Mainly the reason why I'm doing that is just for safety reasons. I just don't like running like beta test firmware or alpha test firmware, anything that's an unstable release on my quads, just from a safety standpoint, because it's firmware that's still in development, so there could be some bugs that haven't been worked out yet, and I just don't want to lose control of my quad in the aircraft and have it, you know, worst case scenario, hit somebody. That's why I'm not going to run Starbuck until I see it on the computer itself. So, in the meantime, if you want a Butterflight setup that works really well and is reliable, try it, use the settings that I just gave you. They've been working for me solid, and I'm sure they'll work well for you too. So, anyway, hope this was useful. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to help support me, I've got links to all of these products in the video description below. If you click on them and you buy from the website, which is Amazon, if you click on them and buy something else from Amazon, I'll get a little bit of a cut from that, and that will help me invest more in this industry and allow me to make some better content. So, anyway, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.